Hi everybody, welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to talk about the experiment estimation of copper by iodometry. The aim of the experiment is to find out the amount of copper present in the given copper sulfate solution by using hypo solution, that is sodium thiosulfate solution. In this experiment, you will be given one sample solution, that is copper sulfate solution, which contains a copper. That copper concentration we have to find out by titrating with hypo solution. Hypo solution is this one, sodium thiosulfate solution, and here we have to use the analytical technique iodometry. Iodometry is a type of redox titration which is extensively used for estimation of oxidizing agents present in a sample solution. As you see in the picture, in iodometric titration to the oxidizing agent, that is unlight, excess amount of potassium iodide is added. Now the oxidizing agent oxidizes potassium iodide and liberates iodine. After the liberation of iodine, the solution turns into dark brown color. Now we will titrate this brown colored solution with hypo solution, that is sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette. After some time, the brown colored solution is converted into light brown colored solution or pale yellow colored solution, indicating the decrease in the concentration of iodine. Now to this light brown colored solution, we add starch indicator, which is absorption indicator. After the addition of starch, the solution turns into blue color. This blue color indicates the formation of complex between iodine and starch. Now we continue the titration by adding hypo solution. At the end point, the color of the solution turns from blue to colorless. This is the end point of the titration. From the volume of hypo consumed, we can determine the concentration of iodine. Indirectly, we are determining the concentration of the oxidizing agent. This is the concept of iodometry. So in this experiment, we will be using a sample solution, that is a copper sulfate solution, which is titrated with the hypo solution. As hypo solution is a secondary standard solution, we have to determine the concentration of hypo at the time of experiment. So hypo is titrated with the potassium dichromate solution, which is a primary standard solution. So in this experiment, we have 3 steps. In step 1, we will be preparing the primary standard solution, that is standard potassium dichromate solution. Then in the second step, we will titrate the hypo solution with potassium dichromate solution. In this step, hypo solution is the unknown solution and potassium dichromate solution is the standard solution. At the end of step 2, we determine the concentration of hypo. So hypo becomes a known solution. In step 3, we will titrate the hypo solution with the copper sulfate solution. In this step, hypo solution is the standard solution and copper sulfate solution is the unknown solution. Principle of the experiment is, first we will have a look at the standardization principle. Here hypo is standardized by titration with the potassium dichromate solution. Potassium dichromate acts as the oxidizing agent and it liberates iodine from potassium iodide. The reaction is K2Cr2O7 plus 7H2SO4 plus 6Ki gives rise to 4K2SO4 plus chromium sulfate Cr2SO4 taken thrice plus 7H2O and 3 molecules of iodine. In this experiment, we have to use acid, sulfuric acid, as potassium dichromate requires acidic medium to work as a powerful oxidizing agent. To the iodine liberated, we are adding starch indicator which forms a blue complex, and when we start titration with the hypo solution, the hypo reacts with the iodine forming sodium iodide. Here the endpoint is violet blue to light green color. In the beginning, violet blue color is due to the formation of a complex between the iodine and starch, and at the end the color is changed to a light green color, which is actually due to the chromium. This is a standardization principle. Then estimation of copper principle. Copper sulfate solution titration with the hypo solution. Here copper sulfate oxidizes potassium iodide and finally liberates iodine. The reactions are 2CuSO4 plus 4Ki gives rise to 2K2SO4 plus 2CuI2. 2CuI2 gives rise to Cu2I2 plus I2. The iodine which is liberated, that forms a complex with the indicator, that is starch, and forms a violet blue color. Then it is titrated with the hypo solution, where hypo reacts with iodine and forms sodium iodide. Now the end point of the titration is violet blue color to dirty half white. Violet blue color is due to the formation of a complex between the starch and iodine, and dirty half white is due to the formation of Cu2I2. The chemicals required for this experiment are hypo solution, which is the sodium thiosulfate solution, copper sulfate solution, which is the sample solution, potassium dichromate, which is the primary standard solution, then dilute H2SO4, which is the additive here, a potassium iodide solution as we are following iodometry technique, starch indicator, some distilled water. Operators required are burette 50 ml capacity with burette stand, 20 ml capacity pipette, conical flask 250 ml capacity, standard flasks 2 numbers of 100 ml capacity, a funnel, a weighing bottle, and a porcelain tile. Procedure includes 3 steps. Step 1 is the preparation of standard potassium dichromate solution. In this step, we will be weighing a known weight of potassium dichromate. In this case, we are taking 0.125 grams of potassium dichromate. It is then transferred into a 100 ml volumetric flask with the help of a funnel. Now, the transferred potassium dichromate is dissolved in a small quantity of distilled water. After dissolution, the solution is made up to the mark by adding distilled water. Now the contents of the flask are shaken well for getting uniform concentration. Now I will show you how to prepare the potassium dichromate solution. Step 1 is preparation of standard potassium dichromate solution. In this step, we have to take a known weight of potassium dichromate. I have already taken the potassium dichromate. This is 0.125 grams. This was accurately weighed. Now I am transferring this potassium dichromate into a 100 ml capacity volumetric flask. For this, I am taking the help of a funnel. This is the funnel. So now I have transferred. Now add a little distilled water to this one with the help of wash bottle. Remove the funnel. Now stir the flask until the potassium dichromate is completely dissolved. Now the potassium dichromate is completely dissolved. Now make up the solution by adding distilled water up to the mark. Up to the neck you add by using the wash bottle. Neck to the mark you add the distilled water by using a pipette. Now I am taking a small quantity of distilled water in a beaker. Take a pipette, pipette out some okay. Now add distilled water drop by drop. Okay. Now it is exactly up to the mark. So this is making up of solution. After makeup, close the lid and shake the flask for getting uniform concentration. Now it is exactly up to the mark. This is step 1, preparation of standard potassium dichromate solution. Step 2 is standardization of hypo solution. This is a titration between hypo solution and potassium dichromate solution. Burette is cleaned well and filled with the given hypo solution. Then into the conical flask, 20 ml of potassium dichromate solution is taken by using a pipette. Then 20 ml of dilute sulfuric acid is added to the potassium dichromate solution with the help of measuring jar only. Care is taken while measuring sulfuric acid with measuring jar. Then we add 5 ml of potassium iodide solution using a measuring jar. Now the solution in the conical flask containing potassium dichromate, sulfuric acid and potassium iodide turns into deep brown color. This deep brown color indicates the liberation of iodine. Now this brown colored solution, deep brown colored solution is titrated with the hypo solution until the solution color is changed from deep brown to light brown. When the solution is turned into light brown, we have to add the indicator 1 ml of 1% starch. Now the solution turns into violet blue color. Titration is continued with the hypo solution until the color of the solution is changed from violet blue to light green. After the titration, the burette readings are noted and the titration is repeated until two concordant values are obtained. In this step, we have to add the starch just before the end point, not in the beginning. The reason is starch may hydrolyze in the acid medium. Another reason is that if we add starch in the beginning, it forms a strong complex with the iodine, and even after titration with the hypo, the complex may not be broken, which leads to errors. So starch is added just before the end point when the solution color is light brown. Now I will show you how to titrate hypo solution with the potassium dichromate solution. Step 2 is standardization of hypo solution. In this step, we will titrate the standard potassium dichromate solution with the hypo solution. The solutions required for this step are potassium dichromate solution, which we have prepared. Next, we need hypo solution. Then potassium iodide solution, as we are following the technique iodometry. Then we need sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, and then we need one indicator, that is a starch indicator. These are the chemicals required. Now we will titrate the potassium dichromate solution with hypo solution. Potassium dichromate solution is taken into the conical flask. Any known volume can be taken. For our convenience, I am taking 20 ml. We can take 20 ml with the help of a pipette or with a measuring jar also. Now I am taking with the help of pipette. So this is 20 ml of potassium dichromate solution. Next we have to take the hypo solution into the burette. Hypo solution, is filled like this. Now it is exactly up to the 0 mark, and now I am fixing the burette to the burette stand. Now to the potassium dichromate solution, we have to add the potassium iodide solution, that is 5 ml. Now it is 5 ml. I have measured with the measuring jar. Now I am transferring that one to the conical flask. Next we have to add the sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid 20 ml. So this is dilute sulfuric acid. Care is taken while measuring sulfuric acid. It should be measured only with the measuring jar. This is 20 ml sulfuric acid. Now I am adding to the conical flask. See, now the solution changed to dark brown color. Okay, now we have to start the titration with hypo solution until the dark brown is changed to light brown color. Initial reading is noted, it is 0 now. Now the color is changed from deep brown to light brown color. Now 1 ml of starch indicator is added. So this is a 5 ml capacity measuring jar. Okay. Now I am measuring 1 ml of starch. So this is 1 ml of starch. I am transferring into the conical flask.
See the color now. Now the color changed from light brown to violet blue color. This is violet blue. Now continue the titration. Don't start the titration again. Okay, continue the titration from where you have stopped. See, now the color is changed from violet blue to a light green color. This is a light green color. This is the end point. Stop the titration now and note down the burette reading. Note down the burette reading and repeat the titrations until you get two concordant values, two same values. This is step 2, standardization of hypo solution.
Step 3 is estimation of copper. In this step, we will be titrating hypo solution with copper sulfate solution. The sample solution, that is copper sulfate solution, which is given to you, that is made up to the mark by adding distilled water. Then from that solution 20 ml is pipetted out into a clean conical flask. Then we add a few drops of ammonium hydroxide to this copper sulfate solution until a blue colored precipitate is obtained. The moment you observe the blue colored precipitate, stop adding the ammonium hydroxide, then add a few drops of acetic acid. Observe the blue colored precipitate. We have to add acetic acid until the blue colored precipitate is completely dissolved. When it is dissolved, now the solution is in neutral medium. We have to add ammonium hydroxide solution followed by acetic acid solution to make the given copper sulfate solution neutral. Now it is in neutral medium, copper sulfate solution. We will add now 5 ml of a potassium iodide solution using a measuring jar, and then the solution turns into dark brown color. Titrate it with the hypo solution until the color is changed to light brown. When the solution is light brown in color, add 1 ml of starch indicator. Now the solution turns into violet blue. Now continue the titration with hypo solution from the burette until the color is changed from violet blue to dirty white or half white color. Stop the titration and then note down the burette readings. Repeat this titration until two concordant readings are obtained. This is step 3, estimation of copper. Now I will show you how to titrate copper sulfate solution with hypo solution.
Step 3 is estimation of copper. In this step, we will titrate the sample solution with the hypo solution. Sample solution will be given to you by your lab assistant or by your instructor. That is copper sulfate solution. This is the sample solution given to you. This is titrated with the hypo solution. Before going to start the titration, first we have to prepare the sample solution. Now a small volume is given to you. Make up the solution up to the mark by adding distilled water. So this is making up of solution. Exactly up to the mark I have added the distilled water. Now the volume is 100 ml. After makeup, we have to stir the solution. We have to shake the flask for getting uniform concentration. Like this. Now the sample solution is ready. This must be taken into the conical flask, and into the burette we have to take the other solution, that is hypo solution. Now I have filled the hyper solution into the burette exactly up to the 0 mark. So initial reading will be 0. Next we have to take the sample solution into the conical flask. Any known volume can be taken. Now I am taking 20 ml of the sample solution into the conical flask. So this is 20 ml of sample solution, that is copper sulfate solution. So this is 20 ml of sample solution, that is copper sulfate solution.
At this point, actually, we have to add the ammonium hydroxide and then dilute acetic acid. But I am not adding ammonium hydroxide and acetic acid at this point. The reason is step 3, estimation of copper chemical reactions. These reactions occur in neutral medium. So we have to maintain neutral medium in this step. But during the preparation of copper sulfate solution, we will be using a small amount of sulfuric acid to increase the solubility of copper sulfate in the distilled water. So some slight excess of the acid may be present in the prepared copper sulfate solution. So it may not be perfectly neutral. So to neutralize the copper sulfate solution, during the titration, we add a little amount of ammonium hydroxide in the beginning so that copper hydroxide will be formed, leading to the turbidity, that is blue precipitate formation. This blue precipitate formation indicates basic medium. Now the blue precipitate is dissolved by adding slight amount of dilute acetic acid. So when the blue colored precipitate dissolves, when the turbidity disappears, then the copper sulfate solution is made neutral. At this point, I am not adding ammonium hydroxide and acetic acid because the copper sulfate solution which I have taken now, that is already neutralized. So now we will proceed with the addition of potassium iodide solution.
Next we have to add the potassium iodide solution 5 ml. So this is 5 ml of potassium iodide solution. Now I am adding to the conical flask. Now the solution is dark brown in color or deep brown in color. Start titrating this one with the hyper solution until the color is changed from dark brown to light brown. Now the solution changed from dark brown to light brown color or pale yellow color. Now we have to add the starch indicator. 1 ml of starch to be added. This is 1 ml of starch. Now I am adding to the conical flask. See the color change now? Now light brown or pale yellow is changed to violet blue color. Now continue the titration. From where we have stopped, continue from that point until the color is changed from violet blue to dirty white or half white. See, now the color has changed from violet blue to dirty white or half white. This is the end point. Now stop the titration and note down the period reading. Note down the period reading and repeat this titration until you get two concordant values.
Precautions to be followed in this experiment are: all the glass apparatus should be washed thoroughly with distilled water before using. Burette and pipette should be rinsed with the solution before taking a solution. We should not pipette out the acid with the mouth. Sulfuric acid is used in step 2. That sulfuric acid should be measured only with the measuring jar, not with a pipette through mouth. Readings are taken accurately without errors. Potassium dichromate compound should be weighed accurately in step 1, and immediately we have to titrate after the addition of potassium iodide solution. These are the precautions. Now have a look at the calculations. In step 1, we are preparing potassium dichromate solution. Its normality has to be calculated using the formula N1 is equal to W by GeW into 1000 by V. Here potassium dichromate weight K2Cr2O7 weight W is equal to 0.125. In this case, gram equivalent weight of potassium dichromate is fixed value, that is 49. Then volume of the potassium dichromate solution is 100 ml, as we have prepared 100 ml of potassium dichromate solution. Substituting these values in the formula, we will be getting normality of potassium dichromate as 0.025. Then step 2 is the titration between hypo and potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate volume will be taken as 20 ml, as it is taken in the conical flask, each time 20. Volume of hypo consumed will be like this: 9.8, 9.7, 9.7. As we have got two same values, 9.7 ml is taken as the volume of hypo consumed in this case. Now the normality of hypo is calculated. In this step, we use the formula N1V1 is equal to N2V2. N1V1 belongs to potassium dichromate, N2V2 belongs to hypo. N2 is calculated here. N2 is equal to N1V1 by V2, where N1 denotes the normality of potassium dichromate. From step 1, 0.025 is taken. Volume of potassium dichromate is 20 ml, and volume of hypo consumed is 9.7 ml. Substituting N1, V1 and V2 values, we will get the N2 value as 0.0515. This is step 2. At the end of step 2, we determine the normality of hypo as 0.0515. Next, step 3 is estimation of copper, where we are titrating copper sulfate solution with hypo solution. Copper sulfate solution volume is taken as 20, as it is taken in the conical flask 20 ml. Volume of hypo consumed will be like this: 6.5, 6.4, 6.4, like this. As we have got two same values, 6.4, we can take 6.4 ml as the volume of hypo consumed. We have to calculate the normality of a copper sulfate solution here. We use the formula N2V2 is equal to N3V3, where N2V2 belongs to hypo and N3V3 belongs to copper sulfate solution. We have to calculate N3 here. N3 is equal to N2V2 by V3, where N2 is equal to normality of hypo solution, that is 0.0515. Then V2 indicates the volume of hypo, 6.4 ml, and V3 indicates the volume of copper sulfate solution, that is 20 ml. Substituting these three values, we will be getting the normality of copper sulfate solution as 0.0164, and now copper concentration is determined by using the formula W is equal to normality into gram equivalent weight into 100 by 1000. Here normality N3 indicates normality of copper sulfate solution. Just now we have calculated it as 0.0164. Gram equivalent weight of copper is 63.5 fixed value, and finally we will get the weight of the copper as 0.104 grams. This is how we determine the amount of copper present in the given sample solution, that is copper sulfate solution. Now the results are furnished like this. Normality of potassium dichromate, step 1 result, N1 is equal to 0.025. Normality of hypo solution, N2 is equal to 0.0515. This is step 2 result. Normality of copper sulfate solution, N3 0.0164. This is step 3 first result. Amount of copper present in 100 ml of given solution, W is equal to 0.104 grams. This is the final result. Thank you.